What up, YouTube? It's time to brew some beer. So I've got a homebrew. You gotta be drinking one to make one. I'm gonna be doing an all grain recipe. This is a wheat-based beer. It's gonna be a HoneyWheat. And like I said, it's all grain. I switched to all grain about 2 batches ago, and now I wish I had done this when I first started brewing beer. Incredibly easy to get into all grain if you haven't tried it. Maybe another $100 worth of equipment. Less than that, I had to buy a larger boil pot, but I digress. So this recipe, I'm using Beersmith for my calculations. If you haven't used Beersmith, that's a shout out to them. Awesome software. Pale Malt 2-row, I'm using Wheat Malt, Caramel Crystal Malt. We're going to be mashing in at 152. I'm going to do a 10-minute mash out, 168. And for hops, we're using Northern Brewer, 1/2 ounce for the bittering hops, and Cascade, 1 ounce for the flavoring hops. And then of course we've got honey and our grains. All right, so what I'm doing now is I'm heating up a little bit of additional water. I'm letting my mash tun warm up to temperature. I'm just prepping this so that when I throw my grains in, if I need to bring the temperature up, I've already got hot water on hand and I'm not waiting around for water to get warm. So I'm gonna heat that up, and then after that, we throw in the grains and we wait and just let the hot water do its magic. I'm gonna be using the Beersmith Lite app. You can store your recipes on the cloud and then you can zap them right to your phone. The best thing about this is it has your timers in it for all your steps. So while I'm taking care of stuff around the house, I just keep my phone with me. It tells me when the next step is and what I've got to do. It gives me a nice countdown timer, so it's easier than doing everything by hand. Our temperature came down to 162. I'm hoping that's perfect for the drop I need when I put these grains in. If you want this recipe, just hit me up in the comments and I'll send it to you. All you really got to do is just make sure there's no clumps. Alright, so we've got about 3 minutes until mash out. I've got 2 gallons of water brought up to boiling temperature. I did the calculations with the Beersmith app to find out what I needed to add to bring the temperature up to the mash out temperature of 168. So, switched over to a Hefeweizen Homebrew. It's good stuff right there. About 2 minutes, 2 minutes and 28 seconds, my alarm's gonna go off and let me know it's time to mash out. At that point, I'm going to check for starch conversion and make sure that we've got all our starches converted, and I'll show you right now. This is 2 gallons of boiling water. And this should get us up to our 168, which is our mash out temp. It's pretty high speed right here. This is it's what NASA uses to measure volume as well. 2.4, count it. Let it run. And add our sparge water. This should rinse any remaining sugars out and bring us up to our boil volume. Like I say, already, it smells pretty good. So we'll check our pre-boil volume. And we're a little high. We were supposed to be at 5.5, we're at 6. I walked away and I ran a little bit too much. So what we're going to do now is check our specific gravity. 2.2. Convert that for temperature. Alright, so we've got 45 minutes left. It's time for us to add our bittering hops, half an ounce of Northern Brewer, and our honey. One and a half pounds of honey. Left, add a tablespoon of Irish moss. This is all right, so 5 minutes left. We're going to add our Cascade. That's our flavoring hops. And add my wort chiller. It's just so I can get it sterilized. I take the stretchy hose and all the line coming from the feed side of the wort chiller, and I put it in ice water just to try and chill the water a little bit more before it actually goes into the coil. So we've got about 30 seconds left on the boil. After this, I'm going to cut the flame, start the chilling process. I'm also going to check the volume to see what my post-boil volume is. Because I had the extra gallon or the extra half a gallon, I'm kind of hoping that it boiled down. And then we're also going to check the, once it cools down, we're going to check the specific gravity for the final wort that's going into fermentation. So now as this is cooling, we're going to check the post-boil volume with the NASA issued measuring stick, and I sterilize this because now that the wort has been boiled and we're done with the boil, everything that touches this needs to be sterile. So we're at 4.9 gallons, which means I'm going to need to add some water. I'm going to go ahead and get another Camden tablet, sterilize some water in there because I'm going to need to add some water to bring this up to the actual fermentation volume for this recipe. While the wort's chilling, I'm going to sanitize my fermentation bucket. I'm doing just a single stage fermentation on this using Star Sand. Alright, so it's chilled. First I'm going to slow pour it to filter out the Irish moss. Thank you, hops, for all your goodness. We're going to check the specific gravity. We're going to see if it's where we want it to be. We should be at 1.048. That's going to give us beer that is, when we finish this one out, should be about 5% alcohol. If it's high, I'm going to go ahead and add it up, add some water, because we're supposed to be at 5.2 gallons pre-fermentation, and right now we're just below 5 gallons. All right, it turns out we were high on the specific gravity to where it started. Plussed it up with some water. Now we're right at 1.049 where we should be. So we're going to aerate and pitch the yeast. It's a very scientific process. As you can see, quite technical. We've got good aerated wort. Using a Hefeweizen ale yeast, White Labs WLP 380. It's supposed to be a little bit more spice, a little less banana. Ooh, nice catch. Simple as that. All right, we're gonna hook up our blow off airlock and we're gonna let this guy start making alcohol. All right, so our fermentation is complete. It's time to rack. I go right into the keg. So I've got this all sanitized with Star Sand. That's been sitting there for about 15 minutes, drained it all out. And I also got this so I could take my final gravity reading and so I can give myself a taste. So the final gravity actually came out to be 1.002. We were shooting for 1.01, around in that range. So we'll see what the flavor tastes like. Just means a little bit more alcohol. Oh, that is going to be good when I carbonate this. High alcohol, but the honey comes through. Yeah, we will be making this again. Fermentation's done. Kegging's done. I'm going to prep the keg, make sure it's sealed, put enough CO2 on there just to burp out the oxygen, and then I'm going to let it just kind of settle and start cold conditioning it and get it ready to carbonate. Just going to hit it with a little bit of CO2. Just to get the oxygen out of there. I cold conditioned it for about a week and a half, and then I force carbonated it, just hitting it with 25 and letting it sit until it gets to a level that I like. I serve it at about 10 psi. Let's see how this stuff turned out. Smells delicious. Oh yeah, that's a keeper. So there you have it. Honey wheat, all grain recipe, completely successful. Alcohol content actually came out to be about 6.5, a little bit higher than it was supposed to be. It's supposed to be a light summer beer, but I never complain about extra alcohol in my beer.